And we are live. Thank you so much for joining us on Clydesdale Media Presents Meet the Athletes of the Semifinals. Before I get to my guest, I need to thank my sponsors. First and foremost, RX Smart Gear provides world-class jump ropes, grips, and other gear for us all. Use the discount code Clydesdale15 for 15% off your order at rxsmartgear.com. Mobility Movement, MVMNT, is a program that teaches you how to increase your capacity to heal, reduce recovery time, and restore your nervous system to peak health. Everyone gets a 7-day free trial, but our listeners get an additional free month when you use the code Clydesdale free month at mobilitymvmnt.com. And finally, C4 Energy, delivering the most effective, best tasting, and highest quality products for you. Get 20% off when you use the code Clydesdale at checkout at c4energy.com. That's c4energy.com. And C4, I would not be making it through this week without it. This is the Skittles flavor. I love the Starburst flavors. They have whoever's doing the flavoring for them is knocking it out of the park. And now I am with Robert Yates. What's going on, man?
What's up? How are you?
So congratulations on semifinals.
Thanks.
And this is your first time?
Yeah, it's first big boy comp. I'm gonna play with the big boys. It's gonna be a good time. I'm excited.
So are you looking at this to just gain experience by getting out on a floor in front of a big crowd?
Pretty much. Yeah, so goal for the season was, well, let me backtrack. Last season, that was the goal. It wasn't that realistic last year. I think I was like 184th in North America, so I wasn't super far off. So once, that happened, I didn't make it. The whole year was, all right, I just want to qualify. You know what I mean? And then that came true. That came to fruition. And I was like, well, I need another goal. I don't know what it is. So I do want to gain experience for sure. And I don't want to put a number on, I want to finish here. But I want to get through the weekend, feel like I game planned the way I needed to. And I attacked, every workout the best that I could, and don't get wrapped up in, the super fit freaks that are competing with. So yeah.
And you're going to the MAC. It's such a well-run competition. The organizers are amazing. I think you're going to have a blast.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
So what is your athletic background?
Really a little bit of everything. I didn't play any high school sports or anything like that, but I got really into fitness in high school. I did a lot of running in particular, so was able to develop some aerobic capacity early on to, the greater extent that I could. When I was younger, I played a little bit of everything, just a bunch of rec league sports. And I used to joke with people in high school that, everyone was kind of, saying where they were going to school, what they were doing, what their after school plans were. And I was like, man, I just want to work out. I just want to find something that I didn't even know what CrossFit was. I had never heard. I'd heard the term CrossFit. I didn't know what, the games were. I didn't know that, people made money off of it, all that. I was just like, man, I just want to get paid to work out. And then I found CrossFit, and then I was like, wow, this is what I'm going for, Yeah,
I heard you were tempted by a lady named Fran.
Yes. Yeah. Didn't know how to do kipping pull-ups the first time through. And I think it took me upwards of 7 minutes to do Fran. Gotten a little bit faster since then, but.
Wow. Yeah, I'm still not under the 7-minute mark, so kudos to you doing it strict.
Yeah. I was a pretty light guy. Strict pull-ups were easy.
So my other question is, there's another lady. I found a video of you doing Unbroken Karen.
Oh yeah, that was a good time. That the feeling in my legs was the worst part. Like obviously, the fitness side of things, it was burning pretty early back then. But once that finished up, I remember walking the parking lot at my gym, just trying to shake my legs out because they were so, we'll call it acidic. It was like, it was terrible. That was literally purely just a dare. Like, can you do Karen Unbroken? I'll give it a whirl. Why not?
That was my next question. Why?
Yeah.
And it had to have been a dare or a bet or something.
Pretty much. So I had this workout written for the day, and it was more or less like, a bunch of different stuff. It had Karen mixed in, but it wasn't, one set of 150. It was probably chunks of 50 wall balls at certain points in time. I was like, well, you know what? I'm doing Karen. I've always wondered if I could do it unbroken. So I mentioned it to a few people, and it was basically just, hey, I bet you can't. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Gave it a whirl. Took 4.5 minutes, however long it was, 5 minutes, and then that was it for the afternoon.
So how long before you could sit down on the toilet seat?
A few days at a minimum, like comfortably, no
Yeah.
soreness. At least a few days for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. There, I don't, back in, I'm an OG, and back in 2013 was my first open, and one of the workouts started with 150 wall balls in the open.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
It's great to
yeah.
start with Karen, right?
It was 150 wall balls, 90 double unders, and then 20 muscle ups.
Yeah, on the rings.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Try to do double unders after Karen. Right after.
Always,
Dang.
always fun. Legs are
Yeah.
juiced, and then try to hit the rings.
Yeah. So, I also saw that you are a head coach at CrossFit Cornelius.
Yes,
You
sir.
are you are 22 years old and you're a head coach. That's pretty impressive.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a good time. Mike's a good dude. Mike's the owner, Mike and Kristen. So the whole actually, it's funny that you bring that up because the whole story of like how I ended up at CrossFit Cornelius is pretty wild. Um, so 2018 was my first open, and I didn't go to a box. I didn't go to a CrossFit gym then, so I needed somewhere to drop in. And I actually lived probably 30 minutes from C2, and I just stumbled on their Instagram page and messaged them and was like, "Hey, can I drop in to come do these workouts?" And sure enough, of course they're going to say yes. They're not going to turn anybody away. So I show up, do the workouts, all that stuff. Mike was nice enough to let me pay one drop in for all 5 workouts instead of paying, for all 5, which, to an 18-year-old saving $80, that was a big deal. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this guy's pretty cool. 6 months later,
That's how they get you.
that's how they get you. That's how he got me. That's for sure. But 6, 7 months down the road, I end up signing up. I end up joining, meeting people at the gym. Another however many months go by. And eventually I was like, hey, what would you think about me potentially starting to shadow, starting to coach? And back then at C2, I would say there were already 6 or 7 different coaches. There were a lot more part-time coaches than full-time. But he was like, yeah, why not? Let's do this. So went through the process, and then a short 3 years go by, and here I am. So I really love
And
it
that's
there.
your full-time gig now?
That's full-time gig. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Get to do what you love every day.
Every day.
Yeah. Where is CrossFit Cornelius?
That's 20 minutes north of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah,
Man, we
not
have a lot of people from North Carolina who made semis.
for sure. And not in too far of proximity either. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I think you're like the 5th person
Yeah.
from North Carolina I've interviewed alone.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, my in-laws, well, my wife's like cousin-in-laws or cousin whatever. They
Right.
live in Charlotte. So we've been there a bunch of times. Um, and we love it down there.
It's a good place. Lived here my whole life.
Yeah, nice. And it's not too far of a commute to Knoxville.
Right. Just 3.5, 4 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's nice when you can drive and not have to fly
Exactly. Then I get to
and
have my car on me and all that stuff. It's
pack
convenient.
all your gear and not worry about checking it or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So going into the weekend, I think the events are being released tomorrow.
Yeah.
So but a third of the workouts because of the standard 2 for all of semifinals. Have you tested those 2 at all?
I've tested both. I've tested the lift. in the way that it's written. I've tested just 10. Prior to finding out, I actually just decided to test my 10 legless rope climbs for time, not with the running, just straight through, a few days prior. So I haven't quite gone through that one just yet. I'm going to see what shows up tomorrow and then kind of plan what's getting tested when, what will be tested, what won't be tested.
Yeah, I think on the men's side, that's going to be an all-out sprint.
For sure. It's going to be fast.
Yeah, it's all going to be about the transitions.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy. I had one guy on this morning, and he predicted that first to last will be within 30 seconds of each other.
Tight.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not sure it'll fall that close, but it's going to be within a minute for sure.
Yeah, I agree on
that. Any speculation? Have you looked at the Syndicate Crown, because they're the same organizers?
Oh,
and kind of
speculation. So, I can go forever on this. So I paid attention to what equipment they're actually what barely used equipment they're gonna sell once the event's over. A true form is one of them. There's no running aside from, obviously that doesn't really count, 170-foot runs. There's no true form running program at Syndicate. I really like running. I'm excited for that. I didn't see any double unders either, nor did I see any toes to bar or bar muscle ups. There's a lot of movements that I really enjoy doing that are not programmed. Let me back up. When they released the schedule for MAC, they also released the event names. One of them is the MAC Mile. So I would assume that's going to be a longer event. That's kind of the stuff I like to do. The long, high heart rate, just, how much can you work type deal. There's another one, I might botch the name. It was hardcore parkour, I think. I don't know what that could be. It could be anything, of course. But the first thing that comes to my mind is potentially a handstand walk obstacle. And I've been doing a ton of work on that. So I think that would be exciting. That would be a good time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or some jumping.
True.
Like box jumping.
Yeah, tall box jumps.
Yeah.
Box overs, something like that.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I didn't even see the names out yet. So you're a step ahead of me right now. So yeah, that parkour's got me interested.
Yeah.
But the Mac Mile seems pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Because they are still in the true form, you're probably running on a true form.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know they used that last year at the MAC.
Right.
Because the way the floor was set up, the runners were right in front of the media. Like I could have reached out and touched the athlete. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think they're extending the floor this year, so it's going to be a different setup.
Gotcha.
Yeah, last year they went side to side, so it was a short, like almost like a Wadapalooza look.
Right.
Yeah, instead of like the long ways.
Gotcha. That workout that they used, I actually tested that one. I think it's called Inception. It was like 900 meters on the true form, 18 ring muscle ups, and then 36 heavy wall balls. And it was essentially, I don't know if you've seen the workout or not, but it was essentially 3 rounds of that. Second time through, though, you went 450, 9, and 18 twice. And then the third time through, you did 300, 6, and 12 3 times. And that one hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at MAC last year.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. So
you said you could touch them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was at all the US semis last year. I'm going to be at all 3 this year.
Sweet.
Going down for Syndicate and just staying for the week.
Cool. Nice.
So, well, Robert, I want to thank you for jumping on. This has been awesome.
Thanks.
Get to know you. Congratulations on semifinals again. It looks like, you're 22. You have your whole future in front of you. So take it in, have fun, and maybe this is just the start of something.
Appreciate.
And we'll see you there.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Have a good evening.
See ya.